Hey guys, Megan with another YouTube video. I want to preface this video by saying that I made a poll way back in September of 2020 to kind of figure out the order in which I want some models to kind of premiere inside of the year of 2020. In the past, I just kind of did it randomly at best, basically. I just kind of chose which ones to do. And instead, for this year, I made a straw poll in September 2020, like I was saying, and I went ahead and I put it up to a vote to see what you guys wanted to see most first. And that straw poll, the first one that I put up, is all the ones that we're going to go through so far. We are just under 200 votes, and the first model that you guys wanted to see inside of 2021 is the H&K HK-51B. So a little bit of history about the HK-51B. This is a very simple modification. Well, I shouldn't say simple. It's a modification to the G3 platformer weapon. So it is a roller delayed weapon. It is chambered for 308, 762 by 51, if you will. The proportions of it have been cut down very drastically. I believe the original intent, the original purpose of this was for a special operations group who needed a compact firearm, but they needed a lot more firepower. So the HK-51 came out first, which I believe takes box magazines. Then the HK-51B came out a little later on. The B denotes that it feeds from a boxed magazine. So I believe the reason that this was suggested to me for a lot was because of Phantom Forces, which is, it's okay. I haven't really studied up a lot of HK roller delayed weapons, so this was definitely a new one for me, and it's got some pretty wonky proportions, but this is what we ended up with. So as you can see inside of LDD, it's a very simple build. I wanted to go with a little bit of a different color to kind of show off that LDD colors instead of, just the kind of basic bland ones that we always do. And this is what we've ended up with. So this is a relatively simple modification to the G3s and whatnot that you guys have seen for ages at this point. So this does use my MP5 collapsing stock. As you can see here, this is in fact the full-length stock. Even though it looks like it stops up to here, you can actually see that this does go forward as far as it needs to go. It does that on both sides. I've accomplished that using brackets with side built-in plate techniques on that. So this does go in and out as a collapsing stock. This is slightly different than a regular one in that usually it comes out on a regular MP5. This one, it actually curves inwards, which is slightly different modification, but definitely interesting. So I did retain that function coming into this as well. This retains the 3-wide pistol grip down here at the bottom. It does flare out toward the bottom just slightly. You can see it's a plate. It's a plate plus a half plate here, and then it's 2 plates down here, so it does flare out slightly like a regular MP5 or G3 roller delayed, however you want to call it, grip would work. This is one of my very few models that has a working safety lever. You can see that this is in the safe position, and this is in the way of preventing your trigger to be pulled. So this is in fact safeable. The trigger does interact with the safety. This trigger does work as well, which is just a pretty basic pin technique going on here, nothing too fancy. This is a basic 4 stud wide receiver into a 6 stud wide upper receiver. There's not too much in terms of complicated shaping going on until we get kind of toward the top up here. But then again, it's relatively simple. There's not too much going on. Down here we have a huge modification to take a belt and be able to eject the belt out the other side, plus the casings on both sides. You can see that I have that set up here. You can see that the casing is ready to be loaded into the chamber and then ejected, as well as the ability for the belt to come out, whichever side that comes up. I'm sorry, I wonder if that's my AC running that we hear, because that's crazy that we're able to hear that with this microphone. We have a box down here that's been loaded with 762 by 51. You can see the box is slightly too big. The box is also empty. I didn't want to bog down the LDD model with a full box full of these cases. That would add a whole bunch of parts, and there is a part limit to LDD that varies on your computer. But since I'm on a pretty basic MacBook Air, I'd be a little worried about getting too much parts into the actual file itself. This box design, as far as I know, it's taken direct inspiration from the real HK-51B. I did use a Phantom Forces picture to replicate the box magazine, so I'm not entirely sure if it's 100% accurate, but I believe it is. In terms of being able to be reloaded, that's relatively simple. You can see it's clipped on here in the back through this hook, so you can take and slide this box outwards as needed if you ever wanted to reload the model. In terms of an actual belt itself, I don't have a belt here because LDD would be pretty wonky, but my general thought is to replace a couple of these pieces here with the ones that have holes through them, and then running some stiff stiff like pipe flex pieces through them to be able to get that belt effect, but not making something big and bulky and ugly. You can see that where the belt feeds into the receiver has been flared using some arch pieces. This was a really nice design. I really like the look of it, and it comes across really well when there's no belt actually inserted. The grip, foregrip up here, has been just taken directly from one of my older MP5 models and fits on really well. That's pretty much what this is anyways, to be completely honest with you. The folding charging handle has been retained as well, and it does fit. Oh, that's my laptop that we can hear. Cool. I just figured it out. Because it's... Let's turn the brightness on the keyboard down so that that doesn't kill itself. So the charging handle can fit into the charging handle slot up here, so you can H&K slap this if you felt so inclined. The front post and rear sight have been just directly taken from a lot of my other roller delayed G3 MP5 models, so that's nothing new. And we have a very basic muzzle brake up here in the front as well. There's not a whole lot going on here in terms of things that are new, updated, things like that. But the main area that's relatively new is the entire box magazine has been remade, and then this section of the receiver has been remade to accept a belt feeding style of receiver, basically. Other than that, that's pretty much it for the HK-51B. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to comment, rate, and subscribe for more videos similar to this one. Don't be afraid to check out my Discord. It's the best place to get in touch with me and see models before they actually get released to the channel. See you guys later.